How's it going, guys? My name is Chris, and today I'm going to be starting a series teaching the basics of XHTML. So the things you're going to need to get started is obviously a computer. You're going to need a web browser, preferably a modern one, so I really wouldn't suggest Internet Explorer. I'm going to go ahead and use Safari, but Google Chrome is another really good one that I would recommend that also. Not so much Firefox. You can if you want to. I mean, really any browser will probably work. I'm just going to recommend Safari and or Google Chrome. Okay, and then after that, you're going to need a text editor. If you're on a Mac, I would strongly suggest using Text Wrangler. I've found it to be really, really good, and I'll show you why once we actually get started. The equivalent to this for Windows I would say, Notepad++. For either of these, you can just go on Google and Google search it and go ahead and get it downloaded. And that is pretty much all that you need to get started. So I'll let you guys go do that. Go ahead and pause the video, get your downloads in, and then we will start in a minute. Okay, so the very first thing that we need to do once we get everything open is you're going to want to open a new document, make sure there's nothing in it anywhere, and what we want to do is go down here. If you're on a Text Wrangler, you're just going to want to go down here. This is really the easiest way to do it. Where it says none, right after it says line 1, call 1, next box here, none, this is going to be like the file type that it is. So you should be able to go in here and find HTML and click it, and now this has become an HTML file. And then you want to just go to File, Save As, and now see it's untitled text.html. You just want to change it to index.html. If you're doing this on Notepad++, somewhere in here there should be a drop-down menu where you can find HTML or hypertext hypertext markup language, and go ahead and just save it as that, and it'll change it to .html, which is what you want, and then click save, put it anywhere. I think mine was in documents. That's good for now, whatever. I can move it later if I want to. Yeah, I'm just going to move it actually quick. I want it on my desktop. That's going to be easier for me to find. Okay, so there we go. Save it wherever you want to save it. At some point I'll probably make a specific folder for this to go in, because it'll make things easier once you start adding links to other pages on your new website or pictures and things like that. But for now, that's what we're going to do. So we're all set now with that, so we can go ahead and start typing in our code. The very first thing we need to do is tell the computer or tell the browser exactly what type of file this is going to be. So you're going to want to put a less than sign in here. Exclamation point, file type, and then it should just be HTML, and then a greater than sign, and then that should be it. There's more to that, I think, if you're making if you want to be really, really specific with that, but for our general purposes, that's really all you need. Just go ahead and hit enter a couple times, create some space for yourself, and there we go. If you don't know why I use the greater than, less than symbols and put that inside it, that's totally okay. I'm going to explain that right now. Essentially, what you do in HTML is you pretty much put a bunch of different text and different statements and things in something called a tag. So, for example, in your entire website, you're going to put things in the HTML tag. So that is an example of a tag. Anything inside those brackets, the less than, greater than symbols, anything inside that is called a tag. So inside your HTML website, you're going to have one at the very beginning, and you're going to have a closing tag, which just has a slash in it, and you're going to have that at the end. So now everything inside this is your website. Now there's plenty of tags to learn, so don't worry. It gets a little bit tricky after a little bit, but you get it. It's not too hard really once you start learning them all, and they're all over Google if you need a memory jogger on any of them. But we're gonna go ahead and start with the very basic ones. So you have your HTML header at the top and your close HTML header at the bottom. You always have to open and close almost every header that you'll ever use. You have to make sure that you always open and close it, otherwise your website won't work. So underneath HTML, the next thing that goes in is an open header, I believe. And then you're going to want to close that right underneath it. Pretty much anything that goes in here is just going to be stuff like the title and anything that your browser needs that won't necessarily show up on the screen to identify parts of your website. Different Google, maybe like keywords and that kind of thing, and other sorts of things that you don't really need to know about at this stage. So for now, you can just leave it like that, open and closed. We don't need anything in there. Next, you can create a body tag. So that's going to be the less than symbol, body, greater than symbol, and then make a couple spaces if you want, and then less than symbol, slash, body, greater than symbol. Now you've opened the tag and you've closed the tag. So everything in body is going to be what's in your website. And I might actually make this a little smaller here just so that way they're closer together. Now you can kind of see that this is creating a it's basically a sandwich of tags. Everything has to go inside something else, and you can't cross them over or mix them up, otherwise your website will not work. So yes, here we go. We have all this set up. This is basically what you need to make a website in its most basic form. We're going to go ahead and just type in some random text in the body on any empty line that you have. You can just type in "this is some text." There we go. Now save it, command save or control save or file save. I just saved it so it's doled out. And there you go. Now you can go ahead and find where that file is saved. I have it on my desktop. And then when you go to open it, you're going to have it in Safari or whatever browser you're using, and this is what it looks like. You have index.html, and this is some text. That's your statement. That's the very first thing that you've created, guys. Congratulations if you've made it to this point. If you haven't, go over the video again. If you have any questions, make sure to leave a comment for me, and I will do my best to help you out. But it's very simple. That's essentially the most basic part of HTML. So you see this is in body. So anything in the body is what you're going to see on the screen. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to show you guys in this video is an example of one thing that goes inside the head tags. So one thing would be the title of your website. Now the title of a website is basically what shows up right here. So like the title of apple.com is just Apple, and that's what shows up there. Right now we don't have one for our website, so it just shows up as index.html. So what we need to do is make some space inside the head, between the two head tags, the open and closing tags, so that way you have some room to add new ones. And you're going to make a tag for title. So less than, title, greater than sign, and then leave a spot to type your title, and then less than, slash, title, greater than sign. Okay, so now you have your space in here to type whatever the title is that you want. So you can just make it, "This is my website." There we go, and then save that. And then when you go over to your website to refresh it, see how the title changes? "This is my website." This is my website up there. So there you go. Here's some text. This is my website. That is some of the most basic things you can do with HTML. In this episode, just to recap, we made, I showed you guys what the tags were. We got all our programs downloaded and everything, but that's not really that important. But yeah, we got the tags in. I showed you guys how to type anything into the body and have it show up on your website. I showed you guys how to use the title tag. And I showed you guys just a little bit about what exactly the tags do. And just one last thing that I can't stress enough, and I want to add this really quick, is make sure that whenever you open a tag, you always have to close it unless specifically specified. And there are certain cases where you don't, but I'll get into that in future editions of this series. But for now, my name is Chris. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.